Want me to cry?
No.
I was telling a couple of people as well. It was like raising a kid might be a little too harsh, but I have no experience raising kids, but felt like raising a kid for 6 years and then having to murder it. And then coming out of that realizing, fuck what the people say. This was my journey and I will end it the way I choose to end it. The fear was very real, but again, you have the option of either live that horrible life scared for the next 10, 20 years or make drastic decisions and see what happens. So that's what I told myself.
And if you're not going to go and verify what AI just told you?
A lot less now.
Even so. Okay. Are we recording?
Not real people. Imaginary people. I can't stress this enough.
Yeah.
Kill imaginary people.
So Willie, you've been through something that I think a lot of founders worry might be in their future. A couple of months ago, you had to close down Fudge. And it wasn't because the company wasn't turning a profit. What was that experience like for you?
I was telling a couple of people as well. It was like raising a kid might be a little too harsh, but I have no experience raising kids, but felt like raising a kid for 6 years and then having to murder it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the feeling. I don't think I still have processed it fully. But yeah, it was painful, but it was necessary. Like you said, money wasn't the only reason.
Yeah.
It was one reason.
Okay.
The numbers were trending downwards, so I had to make a call. Not fully knowing that it would continue to trend downwards.
Right.
But the bigger reason was peace of mind. Bigger reason was personal. And the decision was not to close the company down. It was for me to take a step back.
Right.
To resign from my position. That quickly kind of gave way to a different realization that I was still the company after 6 years.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, something else that founders need to worry about.
Yeah. If you leave, then there is no more company all of a sudden.
Yeah. So then the other shareholders decided to wrap things up. So there was a lot of grief, a lot of, all of these other emotions.
Right.
But I must say regret was not one of them.
Okay.
I think over the past 6 years, we learned at a very accelerated pace. I know things at 32 years old that most, 50, 60-year-olds in corporates don't know.
Right.
And that helps me greatly kind of go and advise them on how to take decisions.
Sure.
I think what happened was unfortunate, but it happened for a reason. And if we don't make these decisions when we see the symptoms,
Right.
and we hold on to things out of ego and other emotional needs, then we're not really running a business.
And also that you've been putting so much energy into this for 6 years, you don't want to end it.
Yeah.
You want it to work. Right?
Yeah.
You've already invested so much. You don't want to
Correct.
call it a loss.
That's your ego speaking to you, right?
Sure.
So maybe a few months of the last 6 years was that. Trying to make decisions because my ego said, there's a voice going inside my head going, what will the people say?
Right.
And then coming out of that realizing, fuck what the people say. This was my journey and I will end it the way I choose to end it.
Right.
And I think I came out of it, or I am coming out of it happier and more profitable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a nice thing to realize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that it would be profitable to leave?
No, I was scared shitless.
Right.
I was.
That seems right.
Yeah. I have about around 6 mouths to feed,
Oh, okay.
like you.
Not easy.
Yeah, not easy. The fear was very real, but again, you have the option of either live that horrible life scared for the next 10, 20 years or make drastic decisions and see what happens. So that's what I told myself. I mean, even after 6 years, I still had people calling me for jobs and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, even if it makes me feel horrible, if things go wrong, I'm going to work a job for a few months and then see where it takes me.
Of course, because you do what you got to do, right? To make ends meet, to living your life. And
Yeah.
it's not ever the end until you die, as horrible as it sounds.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and the other thing was what we had going, Cranial.
Exactly, yeah.
What I realized was one of the biggest factors was that although I had maybe 5 to 10 hours a week to give to Cranial, those 5 to 10 hours were the best 5 to 10 hours of that particular week when it comes to work. And I thought to myself, and those 5 to 10 hours brought in the most amount of money comparatively.
Yeah.
If you divide the amount of money by the
with
number of
effort,
hours,
Yeah.
those brought in the most amount of money and the most amount of happy hormones or whatever.
Sure.
So thinking about it that way made it a very clear-cut decision, which is
Yeah. I think maybe that also just sort of gave you a bit of a safety net, and also to see that there are other ways to make this work.
correct.
Like, otherwise, if it was just the one company that you were working on and that was falling apart, I think it would have been way harder for you to come to that point where you were ready to.
Correct. Yeah. I don't advise it to a lot of the people I advise, mentor, start multiple businesses.
No, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you happen to have done that.
Correct.
Yes.
5 businesses at the same time. Horrible.
No, I think you had more at one point.
I don't know. I was.
You were on the board of many other companies as well.
I was doing that. I was doing the fractional thing as well as running 5 businesses.
Correct. You had about 10 things going at the same time.
Correct. Which, looking back now, was the fuck was I thinking? But that's how you learn, right?
Sure.
I mean, I could have read a book and then learn the same thing, but that's
Or
not
you
fun.
could have listened to me.
Yeah, I could have listened to you or Deva or any one of the people who told me not to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, there's no teacher like experience. Some
Correct.
things you do have to.
Also, that there was a deeper insight there. Why did I start 5 businesses and be involved with all of those other things?
Yeah, why did you?
Because I was not happy with the thing that I was doing.
But it took 5 businesses? Like 5 unhappy businesses? Oh,
No, those businesses worked or didn't work was separate.
right.
But I was not happy with the business that I was running for whatever reason.
Right. The main
I
heart
did.
and soul.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
I loved that business. I was
Sure.
passionate about it.
Right.
All of that, but it didn't make me happy.
So you have to keep finding other outlets to
Correct.
find happiness and
Correct.
satisfaction.
So that's the realization I came to out of all of that. Because I was constantly trying to find out what is that thing that brings me happiness and revenue at the same time.
Right.
Right. It was bringing in the revenue.
Right.
But, with the messy shareholding, the person I brought in to do operations wasn't doing operations.
Right.
I was stuck in a weird place where I had to do management and strategy.
Okay.
Again, something I could have read in a book and learned, but I learned the hard way that you can't manage and strategize in one sitting.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So horrible thing that I did to myself. But some good came out of it. I think the best thing someone can do for themselves is to understand what they like and dislike. So I think to a certain extent, I did that for myself.
Yeah.
I put myself through a lot to get there, but I think it was worth it.
Right.
Because I realized I need to put all of my efforts into Cranial, which I feel right now is the best place to be.
Right.
Next
I'm
question.
happy.
Yeah,
As,
of
as
course.
your co-founder, I'm very happy to hear this.
Yeah. Should make you happy.
But yeah, I also feel sad for you in a way, because it would have been a really hard journey to get there. And,
It was.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a pleasant experience to go through.
Correct.
Would you be willing to talk about the problems a little bit more in depth?
What problems?
Well, apart from what you just sort of said, it wasn't the profit, and personally, you were not happy. But would you be willing to talk about the
Yeah.
actual problems that
Okay.
Fudge went through that led to
Yeah.
the decline?
So, looking back at these things, hindsight is the best strategy, right?
Of course.
These look very obvious. But even looking at a lot of the clients that I speak to, they haven't. I see these mistakes happening a lot, especially with early companies.
Yeah.
One person trying to be the creative
Right.
head as well as the operations head. That kind of thinking never gels well together inside one person's brain.
Right.
That immensely strained my capabilities.
Right.
Because my passion is to do creative work, is to do strategic work, is to do deep exploration.
Yeah.
It's not to manage people, manage operations,
Right.
think about the business side of the company. So the person I partnered with, Deva is brilliant at what he does.
Yeah.
His websites, his process thinking, all of that.
Yeah. I've been working with him for 10 years. He's brilliant.
But he's not that person. He's not the person to run a business or talk to clients, make sure clients are happy.
Sure.
The moment a client works with him, the client is unhappy. That much I can guarantee. Right? A moment the client interacts with Deva, I know for a fact I need to jump in and do some damage control.
Right.
Because he's not that person.
Right.
And it's a bad business call for me to rely on him to be that person.
Right. To be the client-facing person.
Client-facing, or to, get him to manage teams, right? He's in his heart creative,
Yeah.
and he should be allowed to, be fully immersed in his craft.
Right.
So that's how we started out, right? The two of us. I was doing operations and strategy, horrible, and he was doing, again, parts of operation and the website execution stuff. Then we brought in a third person, hoping that the management of things, we didn't have the language to kind of articulate that at that point in time.
Right.
Thinking that they would manage the company, the client parts of it, especially the client parts of it. And that didn't go as planned. And then we collectively made very bad recruitment choices. We hired people, and I think making bad hiring calls is very common, especially in Sri Lanka, where the talent is mediocre, most of the people. But the mistake there was not firing them fast enough.
Right.
We gave them chances, we gave them plenty of opportunities to kind of further their skills. But what happened was some people outright rejected that approach.
Right.
And those are the good ones from our point of view, because they left.
Right.
But then the majority of them, they took in that learning. They performed this, arc of
Right.
Getting better, and then they fucked off,
Right.
right? Which was a huge waste of time.
Right.
Again, I can't like put the blame on these people. These are young people, and
course.
they are on their own journeys of discovery.
Of course. Yeah.
As managers, we should have known better, but we didn't have that knowledge.
Right.
Our first kind of layer of education should have been, how do you run a service business? And until year 5 of running Fudge, I didn't encounter that. I didn't have access to that body of knowledge. I don't think most founders of service businesses have access to that knowledge. So I think those things that I mentioned were the things in like together they kind of acted up and burned me out quite fast.
Right.
On one hand, I didn't get enough time to do the things that I like. On the other, I was doing too many things that I didn't like. Both of these things together are lethal.
Yeah.
So instead of solving that problem, what I did was I tried to find other avenues to bring me that joy of deep work, deep
Right.
research, the things I love to do, which I think were those other companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Learning for founders.
Learning for founders. Okay. Right. So really hard question for you then. This is exactly the sort of situation that you try to safeguard your clients from. This is the sort of thing that you consult on. And yet you fell into the same, should we call it a pit? Yeah.
It's a grave.
It's a grave. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Why would anyone trust me?
No. Well, okay. Yeah. We can say it that way. Not that why would anyone trust you, but more like you can't do it for yourself, but you can do it for other people.
Yeah.
I think that's the question as well.
So if you apply that same logic to economists, they should be the richest people. If you apply that to psychologists, they should be the happiest people.
Most enlightened people.
Most enlightened, peaceful, whatever.
Right.
But you and I know psychologists and economists.
And consultants.
And consultants, right? Because we have an inherent bias where in our situation we can't see the solution.
Yeah.
But when we are an independent agent outside of that situation, it's crystal clear to us.
Absolutely.
That's why people are advised to go seek help when they're in need, because
When they have a problem.
when they have a problem,
Yeah.
because in their situation they can't see clearly because they have their own prejudices and
Correct.
their own biases
Yeah.
blocking their view.
Yeah. So, in other words, it's a human problem. The problem is that you are human. You are not a machine. You're not able to see things
Correct.
clearly because you
Yes.
have all of this emotional baggage attached to everything that you're doing day to day. Everything that's about your business, your company, which is your baby. That's how everyone calls it.
Correct. Which is why I think a lot of people, are fascinated by AI, even though to date it can't do simple things like set a timer. Because they're trying to replicate themselves, but remove them from that replication of themselves from the situation that they are in, so that they'll be able to give them the clear answer.
Right.
It's a bit of a
Yeah.
convoluted analogy, but
Yeah.
you get it. Like I said, one is best strategy is hindsight. Second is when you're outside of that situation, everything is crystal clear.
Right.
Solutions come naturally to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why I'm not trying to plug myself in, but founders need outside help. And founders need to kind of, whenever they reach milestones or when they don't reach milestones, look back and see what went right, what went wrong, what might be the possible reasons, and what might be an improbable reason.
Right.
What might someone who is completely new to the scene what might they say, right? So that outside perspective is essential, I would say.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm fully with you on this. Because also your track record supports what you're saying. Your clients do really well. They are doing really
Most of
well.
them, yes.
Yeah, most of them. I mean, startups, right? Failure rate is 90%. And your client's failure rate, I think, is way below that. Like,
I see my clientele to date, they haven't failed.
there you go.
But these are the clients who stayed with me. So obviously
Exactly,
the clients who stay with me can't fail. Because they are
Exactly. Exactly. Because you're working on it always, right? Yeah. No, but that's exactly, I think, what it is. If the global failure rate is 90%, but everyone who's on your client list that you're working with, they're still running. I think that's
fair. I mean,
that's huge proof, bro. That's numbers. That's
what I'm proud is like not that. What I'm proud of is, for example, my earlier clients like Primo and Hypervise, the positioning work that we did, the design work that we did when we started out 3 years ago.
Yeah.
These clients who still work with us to date, them coming and telling us they're still working on that same strategy that we outlined, and they're seeing that much growth, and they're about to hit their new sales target. Now those are indicators of
absolutely of real sustainable growth.
Yeah.
And the fact that those long-term strategies that we built for them, they're actually panning out now.
Yeah. The entire client roster coming alongside us, I'm a little suspect because of the trauma, I'm like, okay, are you just playing a little chicken situation? Startup chicken situation where you are too, lazy to give up.
Oh, yeah.
You're scared to give up.
Right.
That's
'Cause
just
you've been
my
through it.
just my trauma.
Yeah.
It's still a little fresh.
Sure. Yeah. That's fair. And I mean, times are tough right now. This is
Everyone's suffering.
exactly everyone's suffering. So the fact that there are startups that either can't give up or aren't ready to give up, afraid to give up, makes sense. But also more and more businesses are being pushed to give up, I feel. Again, because of the economy. It's just impossible to keep things going.
Correct.
Yeah. On that happy note, killing imaginary people. So I think I know what you mean
Okay.
by this title. But I hate to assume what you meant by this when you came up with this name. And I was saving this question for this moment
Okay.
so we could get it on camera. What does this mean? Why are we killing people? Why are they imaginary? Yeah,
We're not killing people.
right,
We're killing imaginary people.
right.
People,
Why are they imaginary people?
Because we imagine them. They don't exist.
Uh-huh.
They don't exist. They're not real.
Right, they're in our heads.
A philosophical argument could be made that if they can be imagined, they're real, but we're not going there.
We're not going there.
Right?
Yeah.
This is based partly on my personal experience, our personal experience building Cranial. And also a lot of the cases that I've seen talking to founders, especially in the tech space, the finance space.
Yeah.
We'll start with our situation because you and I both can relate to that.
Yeah.
You and I started with you predominantly doing visual identity design, and me predominantly delivering what I back in the day called the positioning deck.
Right.
Now, the positioning deck back in the day with what I knew was pieced together with, some sort of insight and some sort of way forward, and how that takes the business to commercial growth in the next few months or the next few years. And that was the entirety of what we did. Now, until a few months ago, if you had asked me, who are you selling this to? This is an actual conversation we had, right?
Many times.
I would have said founders.
Right.
And a founder to me, in my head, looks a little bit like me.
Sure.
Not my skin tone,
Sure,
maybe, but
Yeah.
shares some characteristics with me.
Sure.
Same set of biases, sees the world like me. So I kind of sold this product in a way that would convince a person like me.
Right.
This was not a subconscious decision. Sorry, this was a subconscious decision. This was not a conscious decision.
Right.
Right. What happens is, if you read through some of my earlier sales material, you will see that how I articulate things for myself is very dense because I understand it. I understand myself.
Yeah. You know what you were thinking at the time.
Correct. I know what I was thinking. And I was kind of projecting that same thought. I was mirroring that to that person because in my head, that person also knew what I was thinking at that point in time.
Yeah.
Because that person is me, right?
Yeah.
Or a variant.
Absolutely understands every single
Correct.
thing you say.
Correct.
And then you send the deck to me. I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, what the fuck? And then initially I was like, okay, Dharani is just stupid.
Yeah.
Dharani doesn't understand. What the fuck does she know?
Exactly.
And then this happened with Deva.
Right.
But then Deva is dyslexic. He can't read anyway. Right? And then this happened with other people. Right? And recently I showed some other, this is just a few weeks ago. I shared some proposal that I did with someone from Spike. And they just looked me dead in my eyes and they said, it feels like you are trying to be like, forcing yourself to be smart on paper. And, you have to hear this from like 20, 30 people
Till it sinks
in order for you to kind of understand that the person reading this is nothing like you. Their circumstances are completely different. And it sounds painfully obvious to me when I say it to you, but me walking in my shoes, being inside of my head in that moment, it's impossible to crack.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So now that person that I was selling to is completely imaginary, right?
Yeah. And so I have a theory of why this is as well, why it's so difficult. I think because as humans, being empathetic is the hardest thing.
Maybe.
Because we just cannot, we can relate to certain experiences that people go through, but to be that person fully, to understand fully what someone else is, what they're thinking right now, how they're feeling, what they like, what they, connect with, what kind of decks make sense to them.
Yeah.
It's near impossible.
Yeah.
Simply because we don't have that level of empathy.
I think we can't empathize en masse.
Or that.
Like.
Okay, yeah. It's easier with people that you know really well.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't say Series A founders living in California.
Sure.
All
think like this.
Yeah. Even if they share some characteristics, we can't with that information know how they feel.
Correct.
We can be informed as to how their biases work depending on certain characteristics from evolutionary psychology and all of that. But forgetting all of that, right? The simple fact I can tell myself is that there's a 99% chance that person is not like me. Right?
Yeah.
And so that person that I made up in my head becomes the first imaginary person that I needed to kill in order to get us there.
Right.
And then if you remember, we were having this conversation in a WIP call and you said, why don't we try selling this or pitching this to VCs as a product? It's a different product, not the product I initially spoke about. as, something that we get embedded into their teams and then offer to their portfolio companies or investments. And that to me hadn't occurred yet, because that made up person in my head
Was not that person.
was never on that trajectory to become a VC.
Right.
He was going to end up in a forest meditating and writing books one day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Just us. Yeah.
that's the first imaginary person I had to kill. I think you had to kill your own fair share of imaginary people as well.
Almost on a daily basis.
Yeah. So, if that was us being in a business that specializes in identifying ICPs or whatever that jargon is, imagine the founder who has no background, maybe took 1 or 2 modules in some business course, wherever.
At most. Which is actually not a lot of the founders that we meet that come to us. They just had a great idea, they're really good at tech or something, but have no business background at all.
Yeah. So, at least 3-4 imaginary people in their head that look surprisingly like them.
Yeah.
How do I know this? Because every time I speak to a tech founder, the words that come out of their mouths make it look like their customers only consume LinkedIn content.
Right.
Or are only on GitHub.
Yeah.
Right? They don't go on vacations. They have no pride. They don't have a need to express themselves on Instagram or Pinterest. They have no hobbies.
Yeah.
They're just dead weight their wives carry around or husbands carry around while they're on GitHub. Right?
Yeah.
And the features that they like are the same features that the founder likes. And there are 200 of them.
Of course.
And
all 200 are important. All 200 need to be promoted.
Correct.
Yeah. On the homepage, right on top. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've been there many times.
And they will compare their product, the next one, the next best one, the market leader. In that order, they will rightly identify the product category that these guys are in. Right? They will do all of that hard work, come to a very rational conclusion that their product is the best based on these 200 features, and make their choice.
Yeah.
That person does not exist.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So that person has to be killed in order for you to go beyond that point. Right? The other person is the competitor. So I was recently working with a fairly early startup. And their competitor they had a lot of, competitors at their own level. But when we did the research, we found out that the only reason someone would come to them is because the market leader didn't want to service those clients anymore.
Right.
Their pricing and their, horrible service and all of that.
Correct, yeah.
Made the market leader seem unattractive.
Correct.
So those clients were looking for alternatives, and one of the alternatives was this company that I was working with.
Yeah.
And but when talking to this person, right, that market leader was just a note in one document, right? And there was just one name. Whereas in his head, people only compare between himself and, all the other companies at his level.
Right.
Right? Because the understanding is there are rich companies that can afford the market leader.
Okay.
And then there are poor companies or cash poor companies that can afford this tier. And there's no spectrum.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now, these competitors need to be they're not real. They need to be murdered, right?
Yeah.
There are competitors in between.
Sure.
These competitors are not at like a linear,
correct,
abstract linear hierarchy, right? There are different levels to it. this comparison needs to be killed.
Yeah.
These people are not real. Okay. And then another interesting one, especially in B2B settings, is the myth that you can make a sale just by talking to a CEO.
Right.
Or the opposite. You
Right.
can make a sale just by talking to the product guy. And the other people are just, conspiring behind
Sure.
that
They're doing
guy.
other things.
Other things.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is fixed, and it does not change depending on company size, right? Or it is fixed to the company size, and every company of that size has the same structure.
Correct. Yeah.
So these all are imaginary, and these need to be killed off. And that is why I came up with this name. Also because I like provoking people.
Sure.
Sure. Right? So since we have the board, I will just
Yeah.
write something, right? So you have customers.
I'm just gonna hold the mic. Up. No, I'll hold it for you.
Customers who are made up. Is my ass getting caught in the camera?
That's fine.
You have comparison context, I will call this. Easy way to think about this is competition. These contexts are made up in your head.
Yeah.
And then you have, let's call this, there's a bad way to call this. Within company. Right? Sometimes this is made up in your head. There's more than that also, right? There have been situations that you're also familiar with where the client seems to think that the customer base acts and things like the creators of like the people who create on TikTok. Whereas when we do the research, these are people who consume on TikTok.
Correct.
But don't have much time for anything else.
Yes.
And when you look at their other media habits, it's not just TikTok. It's YouTube. They look at more serious business stuff as well.
Right.
And it's very easy to think about culture as, think of, okay, let's say cosmetics. People who use cosmetics are avid TikTok content creators.
Sure. Yeah.
They want...
and they're always buying the latest thing.
Yeah, they want 2-hour routines in the morning
Sure.
and in the night.
Yeah, God.
Right? Forgetting the basics that if you need to spend 2 hours, most likely you're not making money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Someone else is paying for this.
Yeah. And you might need to think about your targeting around that. And B, there might be more profitable target audiences around who might be your average working person. You don't have to be filthy rich, but the average working person who has some money to spend is looking for maybe a 15-20 minute, tick in the box exercise. Did I care for myself today? And move on. And that might be a more profitable market.
Yeah.
But without considering all of this, if you go into that imaginary cultural monolith built up in your head, that's again, you are rushing into that same spot that you've created. Like you are now rushing into the same space as everyone else.
Right.
And that's not profitable. That's not good business.
Yes. When you're talking about this, I just remember the experience I had just this week with a client we're working with right now. I'm doing the visual identity design. And so logo design, right? And my usual process is I'll come up with a checklist of these are the things that your visual identity needs to communicate. And these are the things that our logo needs to consider when we're designing it, right? And then I'll come up with the first version, and then I'll find the problems and the good things about it. And then I'll try and fix the problems in the next version. So I show that progression to the client as well. So they understand how I'm thinking about it and why I'm saying, okay, this final version is the best one for you. Right? So it's a very logical, objective way of presenting the work as well. And then the client got back to me saying, oh, I like the second one. Let's go with the second one.
I think I know what you're referring to.
Yes. And I said, what I wanted to say was, I'm sorry, but you're a 40-something-year-old man, and this product is for 20-something-year-old women. I don't think you know what really attracts them. It's not about what you like. I understand that you like this, and yes, I agree with you. It is very pretty, but it doesn't solve the problem that your customers have. Because you're thinking of it, again, like you said at the beginning, in the context of, this is what I like, so everybody else must also like this. Yeah? And I think that's a very common problem that a lot of businesses go through.
Yeah, so that one I completely missed out on. If I like it, everyone must like it. I think you encounter that
all the time, because it's designed, so there is always that subjective element, right? And I have to balance what the company, the founders like, with what the customers are going to be attracted to, and that's a really difficult, tightrope to walk sometimes.
Makes sense.
But yeah, presenting the work objectively does help with that conversation.
Have you encountered this? This is a theory that I have. A lot of this imaginary people that we think of, everyone knows that research is required. Everyone knows due diligence is required. We need to speak to real people before we generate our synthetic AI personas or whatever the fuck you do.
Sure.
We need to think for ourselves before we get the complementing support from AI, right? We need to do all of that.
Yeah.
This is not new information. This is, I think, the oldest part of the information.
Yeah.
So there's no need for us to be talking about any of this, because that part was the first part we learned in everything we studied.
Right.
Whether it's law or psychology or marketing or business. Research is like knowing what you don't know is where you start.
Right.
So we have not done the basics. By we, I mean others. We do the basics.
But isn't that because we don't know what we don't know? Or we don't know what things we should know?
Yeah. We know that we don't know.
I don't think most people do.
No, but isn't that
there is an ignorance, my dear.
But isn't that the first day of your MBA?
No, it is. But again, that's because we've done that. We've studied that shit.
I have not done an MBA.
Yeah, but you've done something, no?
Yeah.
You have something. I forget.
I have
a lot of. You have a lot of credentials.
Things. I have done some 100-odd MBA dissertations.
There you go.
But I've never sat in an MBA class.
Well, yeah.
But I'm assuming, looking at the syllabus, the first day is...
You read a book and you'll get the same thing.
Yeah, I do that.
But no, I think a lot of the people that I encounter actually try to simplify things. So like, oh yeah, what we know is perfectly enough. Or the research that we've done is totally enough. We've spoken to like 20 people about our product. So we know.
Yeah.
See, yeah, but what were the questions you asked? See, was it, should this be chocolatier, chunkier? Would you like it to be creamier? That's not helpful. That's not how you ask questions.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of these basics.
Okay. So forget MBA. I've done a basic degree. First day of that degree was, no, fuck that. Like...
They never talked about this at all, I have to say.
What do you mean?
This is not something that ever came up.
Research? Do you like research before you, like, isn't it like O levels? Like, Like that fake Einstein situation. If I had like an hour to solve a problem, 55 minutes I will spend on finding the problem.
No, actually. Okay, you want to know how it was first with law? It was
No, forget law. Fool.
here's the theory, here's the law that's been written, and here are all the cases that supported it, and here are all the cases that went the other way. So when you have a problem, like these two individuals have a dispute, how do you... And
Yeah.
your job is to argue for this particular person. How would you do that?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of that.
There you go. So there's no research component. You're
But
supposed to
isn't
know
that the
this.
research?
No, but you already know this. Like, you've memorized this crap. You didn't research it. They told you, study this.
Okay. Okay, but still, that's understanding what happened in the world before this point in time so that you can form your own opinions, right?
That would be the intelligent way to perceive that. But I think most of us understood it as, this is all you need to know to solve all the problems in the world.
Okay. Okay.
In this particular sphere,
Right.
all your answers are here in what
Okay.
you've memorized. And that is more than
Okay.
enough. You do not need to go beyond
Right.
this. I think that's also part of the problem of why we have such terrible labor crisis here in this country. That people don't go beyond what they've already learned.
But I think we have enough content for another podcast if you're
Just
discussing
that,
the
yeah.
labor
let's
crisis.
let's not talk about that. But yeah, that's just...
So I think my theory kind of entirely bypassed that little obstacle
I think you're just smart about it.
because I never thought of it because I had
Right.
an imaginary person in there
Right?
who thought, okay,
Yeah.
everyone knows that you have to research.
Because for us, it was like, no, you just need to pass your exams, right? And to pass your exams, you need to know this crap. It was never about how you're going to apply this in the real world when you're a lawyer.
Right. Okay, so at least for marketing, it's like you do your market research. Right? There's some sort of diagnostic mechanism through which you identify how the world works. Based on that, how do you take the company to where they want to be?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That's research and strategy.
yeah.
Now, in my theory, they all know this. There needs to be research, right?
No.
Now, hear me out.
Uh-huh.
If-
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
But just in my experience,
yeah.
like, so many clients are like, can
Yeah,
we
yeah,
just skip the research
Correct.
part of it?
That's a second layer imaginary people problem.
Right.
Let's get to that in a bit.
Okay.
Now, let's say it's common knowledge that you need to research before you provide a solution. You need to diagnose before you
Yeah,
come up with a solution.
of course.
In that case, there's no need for us to be having this conversation and write imaginary people and
Yeah.
scratch that off and all of that. But we do, right? Which means people are not following rule number 1.
Right.
Know
Which
thy
is-
shit.
No, they should. Yeah.
Okay?
I feel like you need to write that really
Yeah.
big here.
Big enough?
Yeah. I'll zoom in if we have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now,
But what is the shit that you must know?
that depends. That's contextual, right?
Ah.
Okay. Happy? Okay. Now, getting into the theory, there's a reason people bypass it. It's not because they don't know. This is my theory here. It's because then efficiency-based system, the research, the diagnosing is inefficient, right? It ties back to how this tech bros are driving this cultural narrative. If you look at everything we are talking about, it's all efficiency, 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 efficiency. So the priority is making it quicker, faster, productivity hack,
Yeah.
optimize,
Yeah.
right? Make it
Just go.
frictionless.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where our heads are at. Now, if you look at the human body, let's see, any species of animals, right? they're not efficient systems. They are effective systems, right? To paraphrase Rory Sutherland, there's no need in an efficiency-based system for a peacock to do all of that,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It just runs peanuts first into a peahen and
Sure.
it's done.
Right.
But instead, we have a beautiful dance which is extravagant, it's costly, it's
Sure.
beautiful, people video it,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
sex with all the, the fixings, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's effort. Yeah.
There's effort,
Yeah.
there's friction.
Yes.
And now I feel like people are losing taste for that.
Sure.
Right now, the tech bros are coming up with a different word for that. Say you need to have taste. You haven't
No,
heard that?
no.
Okay. So that's how they're defending the use of AI.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking everything up for your mental health and everything. But that's because you don't have taste.
I'm sorry. How is that defending AI?
No.
To say that you need.
Our systems are working perfect.
Okay.
The reason you're not putting out good work is because you don't have taste.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still marketing
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, that's true of good design.
Yeah, it was true before AI was a
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now there are effectiveness-based systems vis-a-vis us, right? Operating or forced to operate in efficiency-based environments.
Right.
Do you see how this is problematic?
Yeah. Dude, I know.
Right? Conflict.
Yes. Bane of my existence for the last
Right.
5 years.
Which is why I'm in the South right now.
Right.
I cannot. I'm done. Right? I'm done looking at my screen.
Okay.
But you scale that up. This is the problem that businesses are facing. It's much easier to imagine this fucker up
Right. Of course.
than do the hard work that takes a few months
Yeah.
to diagnose, to run the tests, to find out who am I selling to. It's easier to imagine up or, crowd your way through an ICP
Right.
than to actually know. It's easier to perform the knowledge of an ICP than to actually have the knowledge of an ICP.
Right. And just for people who don't know what ICP is, it is
Ideal customer profile.
lovely. Thank you.
Sorry,
No worries.
I did a imaginary person thing. So my theory, I know now that it's not your theory, is that people do know and they can rationalize it, but that's why they say our research is enough.
Yeah.
They can perform research, right? They perform knowledge. No one knows anything.
Sure.
They might have hundreds of pages. It's easy to generate 100 pages nowadays.
Of course.
But they don't have the knowledge. And there's a difference.
Yeah.
Right. And in those 100 pages, if you don't have the knowledge, if you perform the having of knowledge,
Yeah.
you are just cultivating a whole damn farm of imaginary people.
Right. I think also if your research was good and if it performed, then you wouldn't be having the problems you're having right now. Because the research would have answered those problems for you. So if you're having problems, that means you need to go back to the board and dig in a little bit more.
Yeah. And imagine a 10-people marketing team where 3 of them read the research, 2 of them did a halfway job, and 5 of them didn't read it.
Yeah.
And now they run a Chinese train,
Right.
the Whisper train thing,
Right.
which is what usual corporate jobs are about.
Yeah.
Now imagine the miscommunication. And now plug in an agency, a few agency partners or suppliers. How many of the things that we say now with the whole AI situation is actually true? And how much of these things are just put out into the air so that other people imagine things that are not even there.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I rhymed.
Yeah.
Must be
And
true.
It's definitely much worse with AI. Because AI is also hallucinating, right? And if you're not going to go and verify what AI just told you,
A lot less now.
even so, there is that margin of error.
Yeah. So recently, one of my friends, this is like on a tangent now. Recently, one of my friends said, AI is now not hallucinating much. I think I should use it for therapy.
Jesus.
So for anyone who says that, my number one advice is, what do you know about the best more than the average human being? And this person knew, a lot about app design, app development. So I said, okay, ask Claude, put on the most advanced, extended thinking, whatever, about whatever you know, some advanced principle, and tell me how you would respond versus how Claude responded to you. Right? And then you will know the difference between AI's capabilities and your capabilities.
That's a wonderful way of saying it. Yeah.
That's my advice to most people who want to use AI for therapy.
Right.
I don't give a fuck if you use it for business, because business is business.
Right.
But if it's your mental health,
Yeah. Don't play with that. Right. So if we were to recap everything that we discussed in this podcast, what are the key takeaways from this whole thing?
we make a lot of business decisions based on people who are entirely made up in our head. These people might be customers, our competitors, who we think our competitors are, people we work with, how we think culture works. And all of these imaginary people, imaginary situations, either slow our growth down or completely, cut it off.
Yeah.
So
Derail us completely.
correct.
Yeah.
So the first step before you go around killing imaginary people is to do a thorough diagnosis. Find out what might these mental slip-ups look like. What are these situations where you are subconsciously thinking that your customer thinks and behaves exactly like you?
Right.
And then once you have done that diagnosis, then remove these mental barriers, let's call them.
Yeah.
Right? Only then can you again go back on that growth trajectory and maybe find better ways to communicate or sell to your customers.
Right.
And know their shit.
Yeah. Nice. So where do we go with this podcast from here?
My vision, I don't know about yours, is to invite founders whom I think have done a good job earlier on in their journey, who have identified some of these imaginary people and made a few pivots,
Oh, nice.
tried to fight this efficiency-based thinking with some real effective work.
Right.
And then, basically have them walk the audience through what their thinking looked like.
Nice.
And the other thing I want to do is, while they give us the business point of view, I want to kind of add a layer of translation, so to speak. A lot of people think startups are one thing and businesses are something else.
Yeah.
But they're the same thing.
Yeah. Sure.
And then on the other hand, you have marketing language, which is like a different language altogether.
Yes.
So I think there needs to be someone to bridge these things, and that is important when you are
Right.
killing imaginary people. Otherwise, you might shoot real people. So I want to, while they are going through their journey, I want to kind of bridge these two
Nice.
blocks of language as well.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's absolutely important, because that's a huge problem that we face all the time, right? Even between you and me,
Yeah.
we mean different things when we say positioning.
Target audience, ICP.
Exactly. And those are problems we had a long time ago, until we said, okay, no, we've
Yeah.
agreed that this is what it means.
Yeah.
And this is the dictionary we're working with.
So much so that now at the beginning of every project, that's like here's what I mean.
Yeah. Exactly. But I think that's a wonderful practice because especially if the internal team is not, communicating in the same language.
Yeah.
It's just, what the hell are you saying to your clients and the work that you're putting out, right?
Correct.